So, good day everyone. So, today we're going to talk about a written literature written by Tayyib Sali, which is A Handful of Dates. So, before we're going to focus on my reflection and an analysis about this literature, we're going to have a short summary about this written work of Tayyib Sali. Okay. At first, the boy and his grandfather having a conversation. The boy idolizes his grandfather, and the relationship is the main subject of the story. Not until Masood appeared on their sight. That is when the boy asks his grandfather who Masood is. About Masood, their lifelong neighbor. His grandfather admits that Masood used to possess the most of the farms that surrounded their hamlet, and claims which he inherited a large portion of the land. The grandfather claims that before Allah calls to him, I shall have bought the remaining third of Masood's land as well, having over time acquired two-thirds of his land, stated in the story. Remembering his former laughter and singing, the narrator starts to feel sorry for his neighbor. His grandfather responds to his question by saying that Masood sold his farm because of woman, citing Masood's multiple marriages and the associated cost. How this can be is beyond the boy's comprehension. Afterwards, Masood asks the boy's grandfather if he wants to join in harvesting the dates, and without thinking twice, he agreed. And the next day, they were all at the farm, and the grandfather handed the boy a hamlet of dates to eat. And then, after harvesting, the men divide up the sacks, allocating 10 for Hossein, the merchant, and 5 sacks each to the other man, leaving nothing for Masood. The grandfather tells Masood that Masood is still 50 pounds in debt to him. The boy feels hatred towards his grandfather because of how he treats Masood was unjustifiable. He describes the moment of disillusionment, and remembers making himself sick so that the boy puts his finger in his throat and vomits up the dates he had eaten. So in further reflection of this literature, on my reflection actually, so actually a handful of dates talks about the story of a grandson witnessing the change of behavior of his grandfather. The story began with the two, which is the grandfather and the grandson, having a conversation. Then at their mid-conversation came Masood, an owner of a land. Masood asked, Masood asked the grandfather if he can help harvest his dates at his farm. The grandfather agreed. When they finished harvesting the dates, the grandfather owned 5 sacks alongside the merchants, and leaving nothing left for Masood. And he mentioned that Masood still owes the grandfather 50 pounds. Somehow I can reflect on the story as I also possess of being greedy. Even when it comes to times of difficulties, I always choose the option where I can benefit the most. And for the analysis, we can actually have the analysis of historical biography, which is Talib Sali, is an Arabian author who composes journals and other literatures that revolves around colonialism and modern values. Talib Sali's A Handful of Drapes falls under his writing style, as we all know that Talib Sali came from a poor family that somehow we encounter on the characters of the story. Moreover, the story reflects on Talib Sali's life, and from his life, maybe the lessons from the story is what he reflects from his observance in daily living.